everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Teacup for One Oscar Movie Marathon. My name is Matt and I have 2 degrees, and this is a big deal. This is our final show talking about a movie. Of course, the grand finale of the marathon is going to be tomorrow evening when all of us are going to get together and go through the list and do our Oscar picks and our prediction show. So excited. That was one of the most fun shows we did last year. Hopefully we can capture lightning in a bottle twice. But tonight's show is equally exciting because we are talking about one of the strangest movies of last year, if not of the last century. We are here to discuss Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, a film by Daniels, which is such a fun name for a directing collective. I just what are the chances that you meet your creative partner and it's we have the same name? Let's make magic. If there's another Matt out there who wants to make movies with me and get nominated for Oscars, let me know. So anyway, let's see who we have joining us today in the chat. We have my cat, Sabrina. Hello, Sabrina. Always a pleasure. And my other cat, Eliza. Hello. Oh, Eliza, you like the title of the movie, but you haven't watched it yet. You're a busy kitty. You are a busy kitty, Eliza. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us to watch the show this evening. Much appreciated. And we have my mom, Martha. Happy Wednesday to you as well. All right, friends. Well, let's bring in our first guest for this evening. Is it a YouTuber or is it somebody being controlled by a raccoon? Who knows? It's Lauren, everyone.
I know. I need to see Raccoony.
Oh my gosh, I love Raccoony. Raccoony might be my favorite character in this whole movie.
Yes, exactly. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Lauren?
I'm good, thank you.
Amazing. Yeah. So what do you think you're doing in the multiverse right now?
Oh, gosh. I can only hope that there is a multiverse where I am also a martial arts master and that I am I know how to do the hula. Those are the two places I want to be.
Brilliant. And a movie star too. A martial arts hula movie star. Yes.
All of them combined.
Brilliant. Well, I'm so excited to discuss this movie with you, Lauren. I know we chatted a little bit beforehand, but I like to save all the good stuff for when we're on the air. So yes, here we go. Sure. Let's bring in our next guest for this evening. It's Jojo Chewbacca, also known as Lisa Alves, everyone.
Hello. I'm serving some joy realness. So.
I know.
It's bringing me joy.
Thank you.
Yes. So Lisa, what do you think you're doing in the multiverse right now?
Which verse, which world are we thinking about, right? There's a world where I'm defeating the Green Goblin. There's a world where I'm rock climbing. There's a world where I'm raising 12 kids. I don't know. I could be doing a lot of things, but I think I secretly I really wish that I would be doing in one of these multiverse timelines is probably just relaxing by a pool with a margarita or a pina colada. So
if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, you do so good. So yeah, let's talk about the movie for tonight. Oh, and Vince is here. Woo!
Matt, I'm actually surprised that you didn't ask what our favorite bagel is.
Oh my gosh, I should have. Well, I just assumed everything, the everything bagel is the right answer. But what is everyone's favorite bagel?
I mean,
mine is it. Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
I love a pumpernickel bagel.
I've never had a pumpernickel bagel.
Oh my god, have you ever had a pumpernickel loaf?
I think I've tasted it just as bread, and something about the flavor was too intense for me.
Fair.
Yeah. I could see it being a flavor that would mesh well in a sandwich with the right ingredients, but just as a thing on its own, I feel pumpernickel as a bagel would be overwhelming. But
I get that. Yeah. It would depend on the kind of cream cheese you're using, whether or not there's smoked salmon. I get you.
Right. Oh dang, now I want a bagel though. Lauren, what's your favorite bagel?
I like Jobu,
Jobu?
the everything bagel.
Oh, okay.
As the character Jobu.
Yeah, the character Jobu.
I gravitated more towards the names that were wrong for that character, like Juju Chewbacca.
Yeah.
So I kept forgetting what her actual name was. Oh yeah. Cinnamon raisin. Actually, you know what? I said everything seems like the right answer, but my true answer is cheddar jalapeno, specifically from Costco.
Oh, that is a good one too. Yes.
Yes.
I have
That
I have a whole container pre-sliced in my freezer right now, just ready to like pop into the toaster whenever I need my cheddar jalapeno bagel fix.
That is a good one. I like that.
Yes. I put it all on a bagel.
Cool.
I love that song. I love that song. It's so good. Anyway, let's talk about this movie. So yeah, opening, we know, first impressions. Recount the first time you saw the movie. What brought you to this movie? Was it just for this? Did you see it because you wanted to see it? A little bit of both. I wish I saw this movie so much sooner than I did. I only watched it this weekend because at first, when it came out last year, one of my coworkers, who's like the smartest person I probably know when it comes to films and just movies in general, he said, this is the best movie of the year. No one is seeing it, but you need to go see it. Like, don't see Doctor Strange. See this instead. I didn't listen to him. I saw Doctor Strange. And since I'm not an adventurous moviegoer, I didn't think, oh, I can also see this movie. But so it goes. And then as the hype started to build, I kept thinking back to, oh, yeah, Justin from work said that this movie is really good, and now it's getting all this hype. Like, it must be good. And then it got to the point where I thought, I'm just going to hold out now because I know I'm going to love this movie. I want to save it for the end of my Oscar movie watching. And that's what I did. And I don't regret it, but I do, because I don't know why. I didn't realize this movie would have such a rewatchability factor, or almost a need to rewatch it to understand what was happening all at once. So I've seen it 1.5 times. And I plan to see it many, many more times, but I'm excited to discuss it. Lauren, when did you see this movie for the first time?
So I watched it when it first came out, actually, like the opening day in our theater. And the reason why, there were many factors. One, I will always support a film with Asian Americans in it. So that was one of it. Two, I am a huge fan of Michelle Yeoh. Like, from her martial arts days, I've always loved Michelle Yeoh. And then when I learned that Ke Huy Quan was in the movie, and we knew him as Short Round and Data from Goonies, I was curious about that. So all of those kind of factors brought me to the movie, and I was like so happy that I did. But I did go with my mom and her husband, and they did not have quite the same reaction as I did.
Oh,
interesting. They were thoroughly confused.
understandable.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Lisa, how about you?
I was like hearing a lot of buzz about it, like when it first had its like release, and I just like put off watching it. Like I'm a fan of Michelle's. I was like intrigued by like what it was about, but like I just kept putting it off. And then I was producing a show called Between a Walk and a Hot Pot in Toronto, a theater show. And it was a complete, like the whole cast and the whole creative team were Asian artists. And they were like telling me to go see it. And I was like, I am going to see it. Like, don't you worry. And I saw it with Vince in my apartment. And I was blown away. Like, I like you, Matt, wish I saw it in the theaters. I wish I had that experience that I had with Tar, because I saw Tar in the theater, and it was like jam-packed, like fully like queer audience, and it was like amazing. I wish I had that experience for this movie, because holy moly, I was in tears by the end. Like, I was so filled with so much joy. And yeah, I want to watch it with my mom, because I think it's such like a parent-child, mother-daughter movie. But I feel like she'll walk away from it just like Lawrence of being like, what the heck?
Apparently Vince's mom too.
Yeah, like Vince and I have spoken about this. I think it's like a hit and miss with some audiences, and that's okay. But like, it was a home run for me, and I think it is the best movie of this Oscar season for sure, like hands down. I've seen it twice now.
Yeah. No, it has so much rewatchability. It's so unique, which I adore. And it's just so interesting to me, the confusing factor, because there is so much going on. And like, I don't know if my mom's watched it. Martha, did you watch it? She said she was considering watching it, but she asked me, do you think I'll like it? I said, no, I don't. I don't think you'll like it. I think it's a wonderful movie, but it's very confusing. And also it's very high concept science fiction, which I just know my mom specifically isn't typically a fan of. So I just like, it's a great movie, but also I don't know if it's your cup of tea. So yeah, but well, I guess I was going to ask this later, but we're kind of there now. Do we think there's a generational appeal to this movie specifically, or why do you think so many parents generally aren't into it? Is it a thing that like the structure of it is so vastly different from what the baby boomer generation and or whatever generation comes after that is accustomed to seeing? Do you think it just speaks to Gen X / millennials a little bit more? Because it is a very millennial movie, I feel, in some ways. Also, I feel like it's so interesting seeing this comparative to Turning Red, because so many similarities in some ways. I feel like the message is different in a lot of ways, but also just this whole idea of like mother-daughter relationship through science fiction / fantasy. Let's reconcile our differences through magic. And there it is. But yeah, what's everyone's thoughts on, is this a movie specifically for people within our age bracket, or do we think it can expand to everyone?
I think that I was trying to think. My mom is one of those people who she loves pillow talk and and the Beatles, and that's all she can ever talk about. So I think part of that was it was hard for her to go beyond like the traditional narrative. So that's one of the things. The hot dog fingers and the butt plugs probably wasn't too didn't make her too big of a fan of it. But and the science fiction part, and I just also think that, like, in terms of the generational message, or the kind of you know how the mother and daughter came together at the end, I think being able to connect to your parent, especially like for somebody who is like me, who is second generation. um my mom was first generation here, and those kind of generational differences would make a would mean a lot to me. You know what I mean? Whereas for my mom, I don't think it matters to her because she's always right. And so I think that she's just like, oh, I don't care if you, I don't care if you don't have we don't connect in the same way. No, I shouldn't say that because I know that my mom loves me, but it's just, to me, it means more to have a deeper connection than what she needs, if that makes any sense.
Yes, well said. Lisa, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it depends not so much on the generational gap, but more so like what type of stories the audience is like used to or wanting to like consume. There were a few like Gen X friends of mine, like in the show I was producing, who were like all about it, like they loved it. And then you know, my mom and my dad, I don't think will like it. They're Gen Xers and like on the cusp of baby boomers, and I don't think either of them would be interested in that because they've never been interested much in like super sci-fi. Like they like Star Trek, but like that's about it. Like they're not interested in like time jumping, time traveling, multiverse. Like when I tried to explain Spider-Man and like the multiverse, that movie, they were like, confused. So I think it's like the like from my little petri dish of the world, I can see that it might be just more of what people are interested in story wise and narratively. Yeah, I don't know. I think if this story was told, I don't want to say like more simply or simplistically because I think like it's told in such a complex way because like life is so complex and the whole theory of multiverses is so complex, like you need to have that aspect of complexity in it. But if it was told in a different way where, I don't know, older generations or just people who are looking for a simple straight narrative could understand, I think there would be a lot to take away from it, and I think that would really resonate with them. But I don't know. I think the structure of the whole movie lends itself to what they're trying to explore within human relationships and this whole like sci-fi world. So yeah, I think it just depends on what people are used to narratively, what they want narratively, and yeah, not so much generational, but like I think generationally, when you see older audiences look at movies and their experience with it, it is a very like traditional storyline, like beginning, middle, end, 5 acts, 3 acts. Like there's no time jumping. The character arc is very simple. There's no alternate universes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this movie is extra complicated because it has the multiverse element, but then you also have so many philosophical ideas being thrown around. Like, I had to remind myself what nihilism was to sort of start to understand where certain elements of this movie were coming from. And it's a lot. And there was a point for me, even though I loved the concept, where probably about 3/4 of the way through it started to be almost too much for my feeble brain. And then I was just so grateful that it kind of came to a point of calmness at the end, just the conversation outside at the car when Stephanie Shu was crying and then Michelle Yeoh was crying and then she was like, leave me alone. It's like, finally, yes, this is what I've craved for like the last 20 minutes. Thank you. So what's everyone's thoughts on how they approached and how they weaved in the multiverse element? Do you feel like it got to be too much? Was it a little too out there? Because like I keep on thinking of this in comparison to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because that movie, well, came out like the exact same time, but that movie didn't deliver the multiverse element that I wanted because it just took place in basically one universe. I was like, no, I want all of them. And then this movie gave me that, but I thought, oh, should I be careful what I wish for? Because this is almost too much for me to handle. Like, which Evelyn is my main Evelyn right now? Which Evelyn is like the Evelyn that I'm supposed to be following? Also, what are the rules of this universe? Like, are you possessing the body? Are you jumping from place to place? What's the deal? There were so many things, which is why I want to see it again to understand all the stuff that was going on. But did anyone else feel overwhelmed? And do you think that worked in favor of the movie or took away from it?
I grew up with comic books in the multiverse, so so it just seemed like another Tuesday to me. I but that's just me. Because I know a lot of people have different ways of looking at it. And I do think though that it came along during a time when Marvel was just introducing the multiverse and the concept of multiverse. And so I think people were starting to kind of understand that the idea of it. I thought that it was a lot, but I felt like it almost needed to be, um, just because there's so much that Evelyn needed to learn about herself. You know what I mean? And I felt like she needed to see all of those other pieces of her, including the hot dog fingers universe, where she was a lesbian, and being able to open up to somebody because and I don't know, I to me it just felt natural, but again, I've been exposed to the multiverse for so long.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like of the 3 movies, I think do the multiverse very well. Like Everything Everywhere All at Once is in that. Doctor
Mhm.
Strange, I think really dumbs it down, to be honest. And I think that's why I enjoyed it a lot, because it was very simple, even though I
Mhm.
didn't get everything I wanted from it.
Mhm.
But like Spider-Man Into the Multiverse, that animated feature in 2018, I think captured the multiverse so perfectly.
Mhm.
I think that's what I liked so much about Everything Everywhere All at Once, because it kind of had that kind of similarity, but like not animated.
Mhm.
And just more, I would say like more, even more wacky. And yeah, there was like the first time I watched it, I was so confused. I was like sitting on the couch being like, do I like this movie? Like what everybody like it? Like I like what's happening, I think. But I'm confused. And that, but like it was so rewarding to get to the end
Mhm.
with that. Like I understood why everything happened. And I think because of the movie, it has to be rewatchable. And I think that's why so many people like watch it again and again, because
Mhm.
there are so many like new things that you pick up on. And yeah, I think it's good to be confused, and it's fine. You just got to stick through it.
Yeah, I think, well, I think there's a nice balance between the confusion and the simplicity, because it's fairly early on, I feel, in the movie, where you understand very blatantly what the metaphor is, where he says like Juju Chewbacca was created because you pushed her too hard in this other universe, and so this is what she became because of the pressure. I'm like, okay, I get what we're doing here. I understand this
Mhm.
story. Everyone gets this story. Parental pressure, generational trauma, etc., etc. Now it's just in the lens of, oh, crazy fantasy / sci-fi movie. I like it. So I think it was important to have that to ground the movie. One thing for me that I struggled with, because since I love these types of movies, I want to fully understand how their world works. Like to quote Jeanette, I love a world building movie
Yeah.
where it has its
Mhm.
own rules. And the rules of this multiverse almost made sense to me, but in some ways felt um counterintuitive to what they were establishing. So like, what's everyone's thoughts on that? Because I thought the core concept made a lot of sense, where they just said anytime you have a decision, we branch off and we get a new thing, and then the further away you get from your world is like the more different it is, the closer you are, the more similar it is. I'm like, that all makes sense. But then certain things like hot dog finger universe, I just
Mhm.
thought, okay, by your logic, movie, if we're going to Stanley Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey world, and then the ape with the hot dog fingers won, I feel like evolution wouldn't work in such a way where we get the exact same Evelyn and IRS tax lady and they just have hot dog fingers. Like, that's not how evolution works. So like, that confused me. And then certain things about like seeing different universes where like one is animated just in those multi flashing images. I'm like, this feels more interdimensional than separate timelines or separate multiverses. So it felt like in some ways it was giving us a structure that made sense, but then the filmmakers were using it to just throw whatever crazy, ridiculous things at us that they wanted in ways that didn't make sense within the concept for me. Did anyone
Mhm.
else feel that, or was it just me?
I can see what you're saying. I definitely can see what you're saying. I I'm like one of those people who um I just kind of forgive certain things. Like I know there's a lot of people and there are YouTube channels devoted to picking this stuff apart. And I'm just like, oh, eh. I I honestly don't get so bothered by the rules
Mhm.
more so than the journey. You know what I mean? And as long as here are the thing, this movie is about two scenes in the movie. The scene where she talks to Joy at the car at the
Mhm.
beginning and at the end, and everything else is what was what made it possible for her to have that conversation at the end. And as long as I got that, hot dog fingers and all the other things didn't matter to me. You know.
I love that, Lauren. Oh my god. Yeah, no, like I think you're so right. I mean, in the middle, I don't even know when I was confused. I think I was confused. The first time I was confused was I think when Waymond was paper cutting himself
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
in the
oh,
I
office.
know that.
yeah.
Oh,
Hated,
And then it
hated it.
just like
Hated it.
started unraveling of my like I went into a full downward spiral of being confused because sometimes they would use the Bluetooth device,
Mhm.
and then eventually they like just stopped using the Bluetooth
Yeah,
device.
then they just
mhm,
self-possessed.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Oh, like what is the whole deal with the Bluetooth device? Do they not need it anymore? Like why was it introduced in the first place?" And like I started asking like what is happening? Like what are these little devices that they've given us and now they've like kind of abandoned?
yeah.
But I but like by I don't even I think by the time the whole bagel thing happened and the IRS building, I was
Yeah.
like, this is like I don't need to be asking those questions because
Hmm.
that is not what is important. What's important is clearly the relationship between Evelyn and Joy.
Mhm.
When
Hmm.
like Evelyn is trying to save Joy from the whole bagel catastrophe thing, right? And so
Hmm.
I kind of let all of those answers or those questions that I had go. But I mean, I think that's where a lot of audience members would be lost and like completely abandon the movie, like Vince's mom did. Like I don't understand why there's like this fake ending, or I don't understand this like thing. But like Lauren said, like that your analysis of it is brilliant. Like
Oh
it
yeah.
really only matters those two times of the movie when they're talking to each other at the car at the beginning when she's about to say something from her heart and be vulnerable and then she's just like you need to start eating healthier, you're getting fat.
Yeah.
And then at the end when she's like, I love you
Mhm.
and you're my daughter and we're gonna be okay.
Hmm.
And the rest of it is just the ride.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
like
the ride.
nothing else mattered.
Yeah, but it all matters too, like it all
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
that's
because nothing matters, everything matters.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Every little moment.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I just got. It lost me. Well, I say it lost me. I was entertained the entire time, but emotionally, it kind of lost me around the time that the bagel showed up, and then everything went a little haywire because that's when I started to lose narrative track of what was what. And then there were so many stories happening simultaneously with alternate Evelyns, which I loved. I will say I loved all the mini movies that were happening
Hmm.
simultaneously, like the Rakakuni story, the like just everything as
Yeah.
individual short films. I loved it. And that's why I want to rewatch it a bunch more times just to understand the full arc in each of those moments. But I feel like it was just serving me so much that I started to lose sight of the heart of Evelyn plus Joy equals ridiculousness. But I'm like, definitely, I could tell that it was there and nothing was happening without purpose. But yeah, I felt like I don't want to say it could be shorter because I don't want it to be shorter. I want it to be exactly what it is. I think it's challenging in the best way possible, but I felt challenged and I'm still challenged by it. So that's where I stand right now with this movie.
Yeah.
What was everyone's thoughts on the reveal or twist, if you will, that Joy was like the evil thing that was causing all the chaos? Because it kind of surprised me because I didn't expect the movie to go in that direction, that she was going to be the air quote villain or the antagonist. Like, I think it was pretty clear that that's who she was when we first saw the reveal of like the plaid skirt when Jamie Lee Curtis said, "Oh, our leader is coming." And it's like, oh, it's clearly Joy, but why? But yeah, that kind of threw me for a loop and I thought it made a lot of sense and I actually loved it. I loved how something that was such a big story that spanned literally the entire multiverse still boiled down to a very simple family story. But yeah, I would not have, like, going into this movie, I wouldn't have guessed that the daughter was going to be the villain, for lack of a better term. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Personally. But what was everyone else's thoughts? Were you surprised by it? Did you enjoy it?
I loved it. I mean, I didn't. Vince, I think, said his prediction at the beginning when like the whole thing at the IRS building started to happen, and Wayman said that like there's a villain, and like it kind of just like loosely explained who this villain was, but like didn't call out that it was Joy. And I was like, oh, okay, that's like, it's not going to be shocking anymore. What was shocking was all of her, like just her strength and like her ability. Like the fact that she, like the whole like tango dancer thing with the cop and like exploding his confetti and like just like all of her antics were hilarious. I think that was what was shocking to me because I had no idea what they were going to do with like this villain character. But I love that she was the villain because she's also the daughter, and it's that. I mean, in this idea of having Joy as the villain, a very extreme allegory, but like, you know, a child can be the, like, to a parent, the devil incarnate sometimes, and then they're shining pride and joy, right? And I think like that whole just deep dive into that parent-child relationship was like, I don't know, it's something that moved me. It's something that I understand in my own mother-daughter relationship with my mom even better. And I'm like, oh wow, like she could see me like that. Like she could see me as this wild being that I don't see myself as, but because we've gone through this life together in this type of relationship. Like she sees it like that, or she could resonate something with that. And I wonder in like a sequel world, like if there is that possibility of Joy seeing Evelyn as that villain, right? That could have been like a very interesting movie and story too. So
yeah, I actually believe I agree with you. I think that there is probably some kind of universe where that's happening.
Yeah, and I thought it was really interesting how Evelyn was so stuck on for a while this whole idea of, I need to take you down because you're the one who's like ruining my daughter, as opposed to just very clearly accepting that, like, no, Evelyn, like this is your daughter.
Like this is like, her.
Yeah.
Another universe.
Yes, and it's so, in some ways it's such an obvious like allegory for you have to accept who she is, but it just, I don't know, the structure of it I think is so brilliant because since she is introduced as being such a classic ruthless, like this is the person who's going to destroy the world. You definitely understand Evelyn's perspective of like, well, that obviously can't be my daughter, so I need to save her from being possessed by whatever this is. And then that just kind of propels her into the whole journey of, oh, I need to figure out what it is about me that can't accept her, and thus turned her into whatever this is that's in front of me. I don't know. It was like, it's such a tale as old as time, but presented in such a new way, which is what I think the brilliance of this whole character study is for Joy / Evelyn.
Yeah, you don't like every I don't know, every parent's child story I've read or I've seen in movies or TV, it's very like cut and dry. This is like the teenage rebellion or like, you know, this toddler antic thing. And this was it, but elevated into like such a complex character. Like Joy is so complex, and you see that in that first scene when it's like they fully show her in that hallway with the police officers, and like Evelyn has no idea what's going on, and she's like, are you the reason why my daughter's gotten tattoos? Are you the reason why she wears her hair this way? Are you the reason why she's gay? And like Joy just realized, like, she's just like, there's so much bigger things than all the things that you're hung up on, and nothing matters. Like it was the epitome of a teenage like angsty episode, but like again elevated into such a just so good quality.
That is such a great observation. That really, that's so, gosh, there's so much stuff you can unpack.
And like even when the whole bagel scene, when they're like when she's like kind of getting pulled into that catastrophe, kind of see like just a reckless child who like doesn't know what to do, but like Evelyn is there, like she is that like anchor, that joy for Joy, but she's not seeing it's just, I think it's just such a brilliant analysis of a parent and child, and it's just gorgeous, and I wish I'd seen it sooner, and I wish I hope a lot of other people see it and like get that takeaway from it. Yeah.
What do you think the movie at the end of it wants us to take away? Just overall, there was a point in the movie when I thought it was going in a very different direction when Joy said, just let me go. And then she literally did. Like, she let her go into the bagel. She let the rock roll down the hill. And I almost found some kind of weird inverted joy out of that, because I definitely expected the movie to go in the direction it ultimately did go in, which was, no, I love you. I'll do anything for you. Come, embrace. But there was also something that felt oddly fitting about her letting her go.
Yeah,
which I thought
she needed to let her go in order to realize that she would do anything for her. You know what I mean? Including letting her go. You know, and that's, I think, the tipping point for her was, and that's why they were showing us all that stuff while they were having the conversation at the car, is, you know, to show that she's getting it. You know, she's getting it all, and she's understanding it, and she's now finally able to express to her daughter what she wants. You know, and I forgot your actual question.
Just what do you think the movie is trying to wants us to take away from it?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things it wants us to take away. I think it wants us to take, the biggest thing I think is the mother-daughter thing. But I also believe that there is this kind of, I think I was reading something about how they wanted to make John Wick with kindness. And I thought that was kind of an interesting thing.
So
cool. That Wayman Wong was the one who was kind and told her to be kind. And she also had her relationship with her husband as well, and
Mhm.
how she kind of lost the her love for him, um but it was there all along, and I love that as well. And then there's just a whole immigrant story in there as well. That she comes to the United States, and I think this happens to a lot of immigrants. It's not as, the idea of America is so great, you know. But when a lot of people come here, they're kind of like put into, jobs that they didn't think that they would ever have to do. Like my mom's second husband, he got here. He had, a business degree and all that, and he could not get a job in, anything, um, because it doesn't count in the same way. And I think that you know being able to see that as well, the kind of immigrant story, I think was an amazing thing as well. So anyway, those are the things that I thought were kind of the end game for the movie.
I totally agree with you, Lauren. Like, there's so many takeaways, and I think the immigrant story is so huge, but also like in tandem with that, specifically
Mhm.
with Evelyn's, is the generational trauma story, like
Mhm.
her relationship with her father. And I think I think that is kind of what healed her experience through her life. Like looking
Mhm.
back on her life and being like, yeah, I could have done all of these things if I like listened to my dad, or like if I didn't listen to my dad and didn't go with Waymond, I could have been this, right? Like
Yeah.
I think her exploring all of those universes in which it was a different play out into her expectation as a daughter, her expectations as a woman, her expectations as a wife, like what were all of those takeaways, and then realizing like I don't want to be that to my daughter was a big, yeah, it was a big like concluding factor for me of it's
Hmm.
you're not like Evelyn literally stops the cycle of what her family and her ancestors were going through, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
we all have that, and I think that's why this like story is so relatable, um from a place of like seeing it as a baby boomer, or seeing it as a millennial, or even a like a Gen Zer, right? um,
Hmm.
you, there's so many takeaways because it's, yeah, you got to heal what your family and your ancestors have gone through, and accept it, and say no, I'm not going to be the continuation of this harm. Yeah, I think I don't know, it's just so beautiful. It's so
Yeah.
Well, no,
I know.
there's a really beautiful human perspective to the whole thing, and I think one of the things that I don't know, hit me, surprised me, intrigued me the most was this whole idea of like you're the Evelyn that failed at everything. And I
Hmm.
just thought there was something kind of darkly hilarious and beautiful about that, because I think at certain points in everyone's life you always think like, oh, I like I failed at everything, but she's literally being told that. She's being confirmed like scientifically, statistically, you're the
Hmm.
one. You're the one who's failed the most, because all the other Evelyns are doing great because they all made
Yeah.
the right decisions, but it's you. You're the one who's just awful at everything. Therefore, you have unlimited potential to do anything. I thought that was beautiful. But then that, I think, in contrast to, the more I reflect on it, even though Rakakuni is my favorite sequence, I think my other favorite sequence is movie star
yeah,
Evelyn slash real life Michelle Yeoh, and just her conversation in the alley with Waymond.
That was a
And
beautiful
just like
conversation.
I would love to see that just cut together as its own little short film, like I said, as I would all the sequences, but especially that one. I think
Hmm.
paralleling that reality to the one that we actually got, and seeing how in some ways empty her movie star life was was quite beautiful. Plus, it also gave me my favorite line, which is like such a overdone thing now because it's in every not meme, but every post about the taxes and laundry line.
Yeah.
About how in another life I would have loved to do taxes. I'm like, that's so beautiful. I also think that's when the actor is at his absolute best, because I didn't love his performance. That's my hot take. We'll get to that. But I know I said it. We'll get there. But I think that's like one of the most beautiful moments in the movie. And it comes from him. So well done. But yes, I think that's just such a interesting concept, going back to the whole nihilistic, nothing matters, but therefore everything matters notion.
Yeah.
There's a beauty to that.
Well, yeah, because you see Evelyn, our Evelyn, the failure Evelyn, not understanding like the whole like taxes and like you can't claim a karaoke machine on your IRS because she like she's a singer, so like why wouldn't she claim that on her taxes? And like, you know, daydreaming about like the movies when she's seeing like her like favorite movie musical, right? Like she has all this potential. She's been, and all these dreams, it's not even potential, these dreams, these wishes, these wants that what for all of the reasons and for none of the reasons she has not fulfilled. But her other versions of her in the other universes have. I think, yeah, it's just so, yeah, like it, and it also contrasts like how Joy is like so nihilistic, like nothing matters, right? So when you're like confronted with like I'm lost, but it's okay because like nothing matters. It's a very dramatic and like tense time because you're like, oh my God, like who's right? Like are they both wrong? Yeah.
Who is right? Vince asked a question that I love, that I wanted to dive into. Do we think this film explores generational family trauma and healing better than other films dealing with similar subject matters like Encanto? I think it does. And that just made me think of a post that I actually saw this afternoon that I've seen for almost the last year, which is just the observation that so many, again, to bring it back to certain generations, it seems like a lot of millennial filmmakers right now over the last few years have made these fantasy films where the greatest fantasy is having your parents or grandparents apologize to you. Like we have Coco, we have Encanto, we have this movie. What else? There's others. Turning Red. It just seems to be the thing right now. So how do you feel this movie approaches that comparative to others?
I mean, I think that it does it in a way that is, you know, way more complex than the other films do. I mean, yes, there are lessons to be learned, you know, Coco about family. Well, actually, both Coco and Encanto were about, you know, family or learning, you know, from the past and things like that. But I felt this one was different because it was not only looking at the past, but looking at the future as well. And I think that you know makes it a better story than or way of dealing with generational trauma than other films, just because it's just like it actually deals with the trauma, you know, whereas the others were more lighthearted, if that makes sense. So
yeah, I agree with you, Lauren. I also think like the only one that's coming to mind is Encanto. I feel like they really spoon fed the trauma to us, like with the whole. What's the song? That beautiful
Surface
song.
Pressure.
Not surface. Well, yes.
Basically every song in Encanto.
I know, right? I know. No, it's the song where they actually do the flashback of.
Dos Orgullitas.
Yeah, like that's a beautiful song, and I think they like that whole storytelling was so beautiful and gut wrenching. I cried, but it was definitely like a spoon fed. Like this is the trauma.
Yeah,
and I think in this film you just kind of get the sense of the trauma that she's experienced with her dad. They don't really show it. They show like these like really facets of her past, and like again with her marriage with Waymond, but they don't spoon feed it to us. And I think it's like we just get it. We're like, yeah, like she is a woman who has all of these things, all of these challenges pressed up against her that she has to deal with. And it's not, but they don't make, I don't think they make Evelyn feel as like the victim of the circumstance because of all of the, not only the past, but and not only the future, but the ultimate, like the unlimited options that she had in all of these other universes. Yeah, I think as of late, this is like one of the best movies that has explored generational healing. And like I don't think not a lot happened in any
well, this is I have a whole video that's literally called Encanto's not a good movie.
Like there's no real narrative. I think it's a very beautiful like show, but like the direction of what the movie does, like
Encanto has good characters, but the story is non-existent, and it's just a structure to be like, here's Mirabelle singing about each of her family members. Here's a franchise. Give us money for it. And I have so many issues with Encanto, but I feel like the thing that this movie does that Encanto did not do is that this movie takes us on a journey and a character study with Evelyn where she earns the discovery that she makes about herself and about her daughter at the end, whereas the grandma in Encanto, I feel that's just so shoehorned in. Like the house breaks and then she just realizes, oh, guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And like in Encanto, the main character is presented as a victim and she has to work through those struggles, right? And like it is very much like it's a very category, like it's a complete blueprint of what the hero journey is. It's not that exciting. And with Evelyn, you're like, first of all the twists and turns, and she's not playing the victim at the beginning of the movie. She's just a frustrated mom and wife who wants to get the job done and doesn't understand why Jamie Lee Curtis is being an asshole. Yeah, and it might be because of like Michelle Yeoh's like amazing acting. I don't know, but I think it also has to do with the way the writers approach the character. And yeah, it's just it's such a strong exploration of Evelyn.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting comparing this to Turning Red, because again, mother-daughter stories, and I think, well, obviously they are both about acceptance, but it's almost like you're seeing the flip side of the story, since this is so mother-centric and Turning Red is daughter-centric. And like Turning Red, she even says at the beginning she's struggling with figuring out how do you honor your parents and honor yourself. And then this movie, I feel, is almost the inverse of that. It's how do you accept your child? Is it by accepting yourself first, accepting what's going on with your parents? It's interesting to me to compare and contrast both of those, because they're so different but so similar in so many ways.
Yeah, totally.
Yes. And no giant pandas in this one, though, so that's unfortunate.
So sad.
Yeah, I know. So let's talk about the acting in this movie, because it's such a good cast. Oh my gosh. All right, who should we start with? Let's start with, well, I guess let's get Michelle not out of the way, but like we all know, we love Michelle. We love Michelle. What's one specific thing that Michelle did in this movie that either surprised you or reaffirmed for you that like she's it, that you love her?
I think it was just her ability, like, so like our Evelyn, the failure Evelyn, not all of the other multiverse Evelyns. The Evelyn that we see, her acting is just so it's just real. It's just so real. And you like I've seen the picture where Michelle Yeoh has like her script and there's like just so
Oh
much
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Obviously like delved in and like done and deconstructed everything. But after all of that, she just brings us such a like it's not simple. It's a natural, realistic performance. And then on top of that, going into all of the other characters, like being the movie star, being the sausage finger lady, being the chef. Like it's a skill that not a lot of actors have, and she just does it like naturally. It's just like a second nature. It's like she just puts on a second skin, and that's it. Like that is a true actor right there.
Yeah, no, there's just something so relatable about her, even though like I'm not a Chinese American mom. At the same time, like she just felt like such a real person, which also felt like such a departure from what I think of when I think of Michelle Yeoh. I just think of her being like a literal movie star, or I think of her in Crazy Rich Asians, which is the movie that made me realize that I love everything about her. And I think comparing her, especially in that movie, to this movie,
I
it's
was
just
just
like a
about to
total
say.
180. It's a total 180. Like
Yes.
still an overprotective mom, but just under such different circumstances, and like she's just so good. And what really won me over was just watching her silently in scenes with other people, just watching her like look at Waymond or look at Joy while they were doing their own thing, and just seeing all the thought behind the eyes and feeling the love or whatever she felt for her scene partners was just like, I love it. I love it. I just love watching her when she's not the main focus of any specific thing, because there's always so much fascinating work going on with her.
I also think that she's always been. I mean, she's a legend, and she usually has a more kind of pulled back approach to acting, and it was neat seeing her kind of descend into madness in this, and it be like an entirely different role for her, which I think she also agrees that this is something different for her. And um that was because I was trying to think, was there like a specific moment that I thought, you know uh, but I think it was perhaps the scene in the hallway when she first sees Jobu, and
Yeah.
she's just so like, what the heck is going on? I mean, she's already had to like have a fight with Jamie Lee Curtis in the hallway, and all of this stuff. But then her daughter comes in, and she's just like so confused and so um I don't know. There was just something about that scene that was just so like magical to me, and on some level. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I talked about this whole idea of like the container with the whale
Mm-hmm.
the other day of like, and I think I was speaking more of like the director in this sense, but Michelle Yeoh's container as an actor, like her like voice, her body, just her skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so vast that she could have just like made it a very messy character and like a complete descend into madness, and then have the director like clean it up and like have editing clean it up. But you could see in those moments of like what you're talking about, Matt, of like her in the background or like her just observing, or even in the beginning when she gets the steps on
Mm-hmm.
how to start that process of like the possession or like channeling the other universe, Evelyn, like just the way like her whole facial expression, it's like she is in control of the confusion and in control of the madness, but she is showing us that the character is in a downward spiral and we're going to go along with her. But like as the audience member, you are you feel safe enough to go with her as the
Mhm.
character in this wild journey with a completely like insane villain of Joy. Like
Mhm.
you can't just bring Joy, a character, in as Jobu and like expect us not to have that protection of the protagonist. And that is what Michelle does. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, she's
Hey, that-
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
she wins. I hope she wins the
Oh,
Oscar.
I know.
I
Yeah.
want her to
will be
win
so
everything.
disappointed.
Like I don't even know. I want her to win the Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
Just for
For
this
this role?
performance. Yes, for this role. Like, what's above the Oscar? Just give her the Nobel Prize. And like
Yes.
thinking to that image of her with all of her like tabs in her script, color coordinated, like undoubtedly just to keep track of all the different Evelyns. Like, I think that like she's the reason that this movie makes any semblance of sense, because you know that
Mhm.
she knows what's happening in any given moment between every single Evelyn. So even though I'm confused, I feel, like you said, Lisa, I feel safe because I don't question that the movie / Evelyn doesn't know what's happening. It's
Yeah,
just
like-
me having to keep up with them, which I love.
Yeah, 100 exactly. And like that is just training. Like that is just a very well trained actor who
Mhm.
has dedicated her life to her craft. And like I haven't seen a performance like that in a very long time. I don't think ever. Like that was an amazing performance. I think something that like another performance that I would say is like like on par maybe would be like Natalie what's her name in Black Swan. Like
Portman?
that yeah,
Portman,
Natalie
yeah.
Portman like did that kind of work for Black Swan and I felt okay, but I don't know, I just felt so much there's just so much there in Michelle Yeoh that she provided that I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of comparable performances right now. And what's coming to mind, even though comparative to this, it's like significantly easier, was most of the ensemble in Back to the Future with jumping time periods and alternate realities and alternate
Mhm.
timelines and everything. I think some of them did it better than others. Like specifically, I think Thomas Walker, is that his name? The guy who played Biff and the mom, Leah Thompson. I think the two of them are so underappreciated for what they brought to that franchise for very similar
So
reasons.
true.
Mhm.
Just having to
Mhm.
play the same characters at multiple different timelines.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Yes. So yeah, let's talk about my least favorite. Let's talk about Waymond.
Oh,
I get why you don't like him. I get it.
do
Tell
you?
me.
I do because I don't feel the way I feel with Evelyn as I do with Waymond. Like I was constantly confused by is this Alpha Waymond or is this our failure Raymond?
Like, this is where I struggle with him because I love the real life, like, redemption story, for lack of a better term, of just him coming back to Hollywood and getting such a good role to like reinvigorate his career, because I want only good things for him and I want him to win the Oscar because I love him. But it felt, especially in scenes where it was him, Evelyn, and Joy, it very much felt like somebody who, like an out of practice actor in some ways. Like I could tell he put so much effort into the performance and there was a lot of heart and there was a lot of energy, but I didn't feel the emotional vulnerability or the truth, the honesty. I guess I was kind of missing the honesty from him that I got from Evelyn, but there were just natural qualities about him as a human and as an actor that I think suited the character so well. Like he has this earnest quality to him that I think is so important for Waymond, just to like make you love him and understand how his way of being is what ultimately helps Evelyn save the universe. Just being nice, being good, being that human. My favorite moments with him were definitely when he was talking to movie star Michelle, not Michelle, movie star Evelyn, in the alleyway. And that was
like,
the only time he felt grounded to me and felt
Yeah.
honest.
He felt in his element in that scene. Like
Mhm.
anytime
Yeah.
he was in that successful Waymond, it was like I was like, this is your bread and butter. Like this is what you're so good at. And I want
Mm-hmm.
him to have more films where he can do that. But I think it's challenging. It's a challenging movie for all the characters.
Mhm.
Like and yeah, I just felt very I just felt very confused, and I kind of got what he was doing in terms of leading the audience between Alpha and then our reality Waymond, but it that only came to me when I watched it the second time. The first time I was like, oh, what's happening?
See, I think for me, I think uh, the kindness factor goes through all of the different um,
Mhm.
Waymans, including Alpha. And I think that was a unique, to me, it was a unique portrayal because it was like, showing us that we don't have to have a masculine, like ultra masculine hero. You know what I mean? That a man can be kind and be, whatever, and still be able to, kick ass with a fanny pack and and all that. And I just I do agree that the scene where they're both successful, he did really, really well. But I honestly felt I loved him throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, like his quality of who Waymond is
Hmm.
it's refreshing because yeah, you don't have to have the I wouldn't call him like the sidekick character of the movie, but more or less that's
Right.
kind of what he embodies.
Yeah.
And he's not that macho protector guy. He is that kindness, compassionate, believes in you guy, right? And
Hmm.
that's what he was for Evelyn. Um, yeah, I think the character and that aspect of the character he totally brought to the table. Like
Hmm.
that's 100%. And like, but then there's a part of me that's like, well, that's who he is, like in Hollywood. Like that's how I know of him as just a consumer of movies. Like he is this very like sweet, genuine guy. And is he acting in this or is he just bringing himself to that? Which I mean, I think that's a very fine and fair thing to do as an actor for a movie if you relate to the character as much. But I mean, yeah,
I think I
yeah,
think there's a little bit of both. I
yeah.
think there's a little bit
Yeah.
of both, and I personally think it's fine. Um, I definitely want him to win. Um, just because I just think that he's got such a great story for one. And as again as an Asian American, I just want to see Asian Americans succeed. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the first year where you have so many Asian Americans being nominated in so many different categories, and I just think that is so fantastic.
Oh, for sure. How many Asian Americans have won acting awards? Or not even just Asian Americans, people of Asian descent in the past.
Yeah, I mean, like I couldn't even tell you. I know Han S. Nor for The Killing Fields, but that's pretty much about all I can tell you.
I remember I Googled this like 5 or 6 years ago, just out of pure curiosity. One day during Oscar season, I was like, have any Asian actors won recently, if at all?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think one thing that shocked me was Ben Kingsley, who is apparently partially of Asian descent in some way.
Yeah, I think he's part Southeast Asian.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, it's just seeing Ben Kingsley was like one of the small handfuls of names. There it was.
Hmm.
Yeah, Ben Kingsley is half
Oh,
or a quarter Indian.
Vince brought a Parasite.
Did the guy? Oh,
Right,
did the actors win?
no.
No, it
Or
was was it the directors or the
It
film
it
was?
was Best Picture. It won for Best
Yeah,
Picture.
one Best Picture. Yeah.
I feel like there aren't a ton of Asian American actors who won Oscars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't.
there's there's a lot of Ben Kingsley is one. I did not know Yul Brenner was Asian.
No, he's not. No.
There in his list of ethnicities, there is Indonesian.
Oh, okay. I just think of him as being Russian.
Yeah. And then there's a F. Murray Abraham for Amadeus.
F. Murray Abraham? Really?
I don't know. Oh, Syria. He's half Syrian.
Oh.
But yeah, so it's a lot of white passing men who have won an Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's just say that there are no like people who.
I think for like actors, it's again like a lot of there's no.
Yeah, I just know of Hang S. Noor, who's definitely.
Like there's been this list is like pulling at straws.
Right.
Like we have like Cher, who is mixed race.
Cher? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's part
Armenian.
Yeah, part of Armenian. Yeah.
And then Vivian Lee is part Armenian and Indian, and Natalie Portman Israeli. I don't know, that those are a lot of very just white passing people, which fair, like they did great work, but to have a visibly Asian person win this award will be like a huge landslide.
Yeah,
no, definitely.
Either category. Yeah.
Like if 3 out of the 4 acting awards go to Asian Americans, I'll be so happy.
Yeah.
I think that, well, actually I don't know if that'll happen. Maybe it will.
It could.
Maybe it could. It could. It could. Wait, hold on. Yeah, best actress, supporting actor. Oh yeah, who's winning best supporting actor this year? Oh no, yeah. Raymond.
Yeah.
Supporting actress.
Yeah. And then
oh, best actor. Best actor is the one that we don't have any Asian people.
Yeah,
it's all white guys in best actor, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
A problem.
Yeah, but no, the other categories did well though. The other categories did well. But
yeah, I mean, I just feel like maybe this is a thing that we can talk about tomorrow, but with the Oscars, it's so frustrating because you have one year where there's a lot of Black representation, and then there's another year where there's a lot of Asian representation, and then there's like another year where there is like a Latin big Latin representation. It's never like consistent. It's just white and then another race or culture. White or another identity, and it's just so frustrating. Like, why can't we have beautiful, diverse quality of nominations from all walks of life every single year? Why does it always have to default into this? So frustrating.
That was part of the conversation surrounding Andrea what's her face from To Leslie about how she got the nomination over Viola Davis for Woman King.
Outrageous.
Although I did watch To Leslie and she was fantastic.
Good. I watched this trailer and I'm like, this seems good.
It's so sad, but like she carries that movie beautifully.
Really?
Like I have no qualms about her getting nominated, and I also like the kind of anti-authority shake up the Academy system thing that went with her nomination, of how they were like, well, there are ways you get nominations, and she didn't do that.
Wait, what do you mean?
The whole thing with her, like the Academy almost took away her nomination because they felt like it went against their guidelines, because the film was so low budget they couldn't afford a traditional campaign, so they got a bunch of A-list celebrities who were friends of Andrea and friends of the filmmakers to watch the movie and just say, if you think it's award worthy, like help us spread the word.
Wow.
And then the Academy didn't like that. And so they tried to take away her nomination because they said that they cheated or something by using social media. And then it opened up a bigger discussion of like, well, Academy, do you only want nominations to go to films that you think are like worthy or are of a certain budget or of a certain level of prestige? Like, whatever. And then, So in that respect, like I 100% behind her nomination, and also like it's a good performance that is Oscar worthy. So
I just feel like they should, in order to embrace a greater diversity, why are they only limiting themselves to what is it, 5 nominees?
Not
Right.
even for
Well,
best actress. There's only 4.
4,
What?
yeah.
Yeah, and for best supporting actress for. Oh no, I'm wrong. Sorry, 1 second.
I
There's
think
5.
it's 5.
It's
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
It's 5.
But 5, I mean, like, I just feel like they could be opening themselves up. Like, take for instance, why not both Viola Davis
Mhm.
and I forget her name.
Andrea Risa
Andrew,
something.
yeah,
Riseborough. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, why couldn't they both be nominated? You know what I mean? And as well as other people. Um, who knows?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, and that would have been a great, you know, category to have an African American, an Asian American, and
You have
yeah, I just,
Michelle Williams and Anna de Armas.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
do those 2 deserve nominations for those films over like like even like from the performances in Women Talking, right?
Mhm.
Like none of those women were nominated, and they
yeah.
had exceptionally amazing performances.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like
Well, I can't speak to Anna because I refuse to see the exploitative Marilyn Monroe movie. Only because I know it's going to make me really uncomfortable. Even though I want to see it, I'm fascinated by it. But
I saw it.
Oh, really?
I actually,
You liked it?
I don't know if I would say that I enjoyed it, but I felt like she did an amazing job for what she was given.
Yeah.
And the thing is that like Marilyn Monroe did have like a tragic life, and it's sad. Um, and I think sometimes it's like with legends, we don't want to feel that sadness, um, because she also was an amazing actress in and of herself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they do focus quite a bit on the sadness in her life, but I felt like she did a great job for what she was given, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, not having seen the film, like just the little snippet I saw in the first trailer won me over on her. Just the clip when she's laughing / crying in the mirror. Just like
Mhm.
there's so much here. There's so much emotion and discomfort and just everything packed into this one moment that I can only
Yeah.
imagine what the whole movie is going to be like for you. Also, I don't know. I like the idea of her casting just because she's not the type of actor that would have been cast as Marilyn like even 5-ish years
Mhm.
ago. Just to have a Cuban Spanish actress playing Marilyn Monroe, like somebody whose first language isn't even English, to like play such an Americanized icon in a high profile, big budget biopic. Well, but it's not really a biopic, but Maryland based movie.
Yeah.
That's like, I love that. And I love that she's getting award recognition for it because that's kind of the direction I'd like to see casting moving. But yeah, more diversity. Just let more people get nominated. We can have
More
10 Best Picture
diversity
nominations.
Oscars. Come on.
Yeah. And let's look at Vince's comment, which kind of leads into who I want to talk about next. Jamie. Why is Jamie Lee Curtis nominated for this role? I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
She's
Don't get me
great.
wrong.
Yeah.
As a human, as an actor, I love her. And she's perfectly fine in this movie. But it's not the movie she gets an Oscar for.
No, I'm a big fan of Women Talking, and every one of those supporting characters in Women Talking did an outstanding job. So good that
Mhm.
I am shocked are not up against Stephanie in this category.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Claire Foy is in this movie. I'm looking at the cast right now.
Claire Foy, Rooney Mara, like
Sheila McCarthy?
yeah, like it's a stacked cast, and Women Talking has only gotten 2 noms, so Best Picture and Best, I think, adapted screenplay. Not even directing. Like, don't like I can't. Anyway, it does like Jamie Lee Curtis did what she was paid to do, which was what we saw, and it was brilliant. It was hilarious. It was funny, but I don't think she.
No, well, that was one of my biggest letdowns. I expected there to be more Jamie Lee Curtis showcasing.
Really?
Just with all the Oscar buzz. The fact that she's literally nominated for an Oscar. I thought this is the movie where I get to see Jamie Lee shine. And she was fine with what she did, but the script didn't give her that much to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of it is because she has never gotten a nomination before. And this is for a film that is really high profile, that everybody, loves. And I think that is the reason why she was nominated.
Yeah, like I mean, I haven't seen any of these movies minus the first one, but just in theory, I would much rather she gets nominated for one of the Halloween movies, assuming that her performance in it is good, which I'm guessing it is, because like she's good, and that's her legacy. That's what her career started with, and to play the same role over multiple decades just to see how that character evolves, I feel like if I were in charge of nominating things, that's what I would nominate Jamie Lee Curtis for.
Yeah.
Like the role that she has spent her entire life developing and playing. And yeah. But maybe Laurie's just not a good, well-written character. Who knows?
Well, the last few.
Yeah, and they also don't nominate horror movies.
Oh, that's
so
true.
they're not going to nominate an actor for their performance in one, because Oscars has a problem with diversity, but they also have a problem with nominating horror and superhero movies. So
yeah, well, I mean, I feel like that's a different type of diversity too. They just have issues with genre. They have issues with genre movies, which they didn't always. They definitely like Gladiator won in 2000.
Yeah, but Gladiator like based in historic?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I don't know the history of like superhero and horror movies. I mean, like, did Alfred Hitchcock win any for his work?
I'm sure he did. I can't remember what. Oh wait, no, wasn't Get Out nominated? Get Out was nominated for Best Picture, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, like it's but like still like there's a lot that have just like passed by because the Oscar type movies that are just dramas are the ones that win. And yeah.
And is Black Panther the only superhero movie to get a Best Picture nomination?
Yep.
Yeah, and Angela Bassett, I think, is the only one to have
the only acting nomination. Yeah. Although I will say I was Team Angela, but now I'm Team Stephanie.
I go like back and forth, and it's so hard because I just love Ramonda so much. Huh?
Angela played. Angela
Bassett, the Queen. Yeah, she's Queen of
Wakanda.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I love Angela Bassett, and she did an amazing job in that performance. But I don't know, compared to what like Stephanie did in this role, like it was so out there. It was so villain, but it was also so like heartwarming. And then also you have to compare it to what was the actor who played Liz in The Whale? Like she's nominated,
right?
She did an amazing performance too, and that's just a completely different type of character, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I feel like Stephanie is like, this is one of those roles kind of that I think of in the same way as Anita from last year from West Side Story, where yes, they're a supporting character, but they are like in some ways holding everything together. Like if you don't have Stephanie's character, you don't have a movie. And if you don't care about her, then you also don't have a movie. And I feel like Angela Bassett's role, just on paper, you could have a subpar actor in that role and the movie would still be okay.
She pulls Viola Davis in Doubt.
Yes.
Yeah. Like her performance is spectacular, especially that moment when like her breakdown happens, right?
Mhm.
And that's what
Uh-huh.
you see with Viola Davis is like, I don't know, like 7 minutes in doubt, and that's why she won. But you're so right, Matt. Like, you don't need a good actor in that role to have the movie continue forward.
Mhm.
And
Uh-huh.
is that what you need to base your, as an Academy member, like your vote on? Because I think the movie still needs to, like, it hinges on you, that role working
Yeah.
no matter what, and not solely about performance.
Yeah, like I think I want Angela to win more so because it's Angela Bassett and because it's for a Marvel movie. But if we're just looking at the performances, like Stephanie has my heart, and I just
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I mean, I've like for me as a comic book fan, Angela Bassett's Ramonda, like she just jumped out of the comic book. I mean, which is could say you could say that about a lot of the Marvel actors that they got. But she was just so like a tour de force in um Wakanda Forever. I mean, you know, when she says, "Have I not given everything?"
right. Oh,
I'm
so
just
good.
like, I just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
She was
yeah,
the only actor I found engaging in that whole movie.
yeah, I agree. So,
That's why I like that movie.
but
Actually, no, I like
Stephanie,
Namor. I like Namor. He was fine.
yeah, but Stephanie Chu has my heart, and I keep
Yeah.
going back and forth and back and forth, and I mean, like, it's just a tough. This is going to be a tough category,
Mhm.
and honestly, like, I would be happy if anybody won. You know what I mean? Um, I just think that there's just so many um good actresses in that category. Um, yeah, I just love it. But Stephanie Shu, I mean, she when I just think of all the scenes of her as Jobu, when she comes out and she's like in an Elvis
Yeah.
costume and but you know, like you know, I can't even remember some of the other costumes that she's in, but just her like command of that screen and the fact that she stood toe to toe with Michelle Yeoh, who's been working for decades, you know, I thought that that was something, you know, that she should be very, very proud of. I like the fact that she's such a humble actress that I think she doesn't expect to win anything, and but she was just happy to be part of the process, and I love that, and that makes me want her to get the award even more
Mhm.
because of her, you know, kind of humbleness. And yeah, again, I just love the movie so much. But yeah, Stephanie Chu just did such a remarkable job.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think was so pleasantly surprised by her, especially because I feel like she has the least Oscar buzz in some ways out of all the supporting actress nominees. I had heard so much about everyone else, and it felt like so much more attention was on the others that I didn't expect her role to be as prominent as it was, and I didn't expect it to give her as much of an opportunity to show off how talented she is as it did. Like I think I expected the Jamie Lee Curtis role to deliver more of what we got from Stephanie's role
Agreed.
than
Yeah.
it did. So pleasantly surprised. Also, K Dog and Fish are here, my favorite Funko retailers. Hello, friends and pop culture
Yay.
experts weighing in. There we go. Angela Bassett will win, but Michelle Yeoh will win for Best Actress. And
Yes, you can see that I do have some Funko Pops in the back.
yes,
That's
Some Funko
that's
Pops.
actually just a small portion of my Funko Pop collection. So
Yes. Oh, we love the Funko Pops. We love the Funko
I
Pops.
only have one Funko Pop, which is an I Love Lucy.
Yes, I love that one. I have that one. She's in the other room though. Yeah, I have a bunch of them right here on my desk. I have Thackeray Binks right there.
Oh
they
my god,
didn't release any everything everywhere all at once.
Oh,
they
there's
Funko Pop.
there's so many amazing opportunities. Like just
Yeah, can you imagine?
anything that Joy
Jobu.
wears.
Yeah, anything Jobu had on, I would have bought like
Yes.
right away.
I want all of her makeup versions.
Yeah.
Every time she showed up, it was like she was going to a new year at the Met Gala.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think when I picked up the movie and started rewatching at a certain scene, it's when she shows up at the IRS place, like 3/4 of the way through the movie, and then she like messes things up again. That was when I just thought to myself, I took for granted how ridiculous these costumes are. Like when you're just watching the movie, you're so immersed in it that you just don't question what she's wearing. But then when you just like see an outfit isolated, you realize how ridiculous this movie is. But it's structured in such a way where you just buy into it. It's like, yes, of course you're wearing that. Of course you're Elvis right now.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. It just makes sense.
It just makes sense. Woo. All right. What else is this movie nominated for? We've talked about the
editing. Best editing. This is best editing.
Oh, yeah.
Like even just like the simple scenes, the simplest moment that I loved so much that was edited to perfection was when Waymond is walking with Evelyn and her dad into the IRS building, and he has the divorce papers, and he has divorce papers, and he sees an older Asian couple, and like they're holding hands.
Oh,
and it's just like a back and forth of like him seeing himself in that older man, and then back, like it's a perfectly edited moment. But then all of the crazy
insanity
of like Michelle Yeoh's face and like everything happening all at once around her, like complete masterful editing. And it's just, like I will be shocked if anything else wins.
And how they had the fake ending.
And my God. So funny.
One of my favorite things to do is just pause it at random when it's doing those like single frame sequences just to see what I'm looking at. And I was so angry because I didn't get a picture of it last night, but the first time I thought to do that, I paused it right on a frame where it said something like, it was a YouTube video that said Hollywood movies that reference the Illuminati in a single frame, which I thought was hilarious. And so
this one does
in that frame.
Frame?
Yes. Like this is brilliant.
I
couldn't pause it randomly on a better shot. So
oh man.
Yeah.
Like I think the editing I don't want to get too ahead of tomorrow's discussion. I want to see what else is nominated.
Yeah.
Because I think the editing is masterful, but it's also it's like a very editing movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of comparable, I feel, to like when you have like crazy makeup that's just a case of like just make it look really cool, and in some ways that's easier than things that are harder.
You're right.
Even though it is like masterful to look at. I would almost rather I don't think it's nominated for cinematography because I found the cinematography was in some ways more engaging. Maybe cinematography is even the wrong category, but just the use of lighting. And I just love the practical effects of how they had the actual light just moving around their faces for all of those sequences, and everything that offered up was, I thought, really gorgeous.
Yeah, like its production design, I would say, was just so. I mean, they had to do so much, so many different types of design, right? Like you have the Hollywood storyline, then you have the restaurant, and then you have our reality, and then you have all the chaos, like violent action stuff. Like, I'm surprised it doesn't have a production design nomination.
I know. No, it has costume design though, which I think a lot of the production design that was appealing was more costume based. So
I mean, like, I guess you have like Stephanie's wild stuff and Jamie's iconic IRS lady. I don't know.
I think if it won for costume, it would be for Jobu's.
But I think, again, I'm so excited for tomorrow. I think costume will go to Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris because it's that lady who wins every year, first of all. So like she has a track record, and just the outfits in that movie were beautiful, and it's a period piece, and it's all about Mrs. Harris going to Paris so that she can buy something from whatever the big Paris fashion house is.
Chanel.
Yeah, I think it's Chanel. And so the whole movie, like, she recreated all of these 1950s Chanel dresses, and I'm like, this is the type of thing that wins an Oscar. But I love looking at the costumes in this movie more.
This one's also nominated for original screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I think it should win for.
Yeah.
Who else is in that one?
Let's find out. Oh, probably Banshees would be nominated for that.
Banshees, Triangle of Sadness.
Stupid! I hate Triangle of Sadness.
Oh my God, Matt, Vince and I want to talk to you about
Oh, why? Did you like it?
No, but we stuck through it like until 2 a.m.
It had so much potential. So, like, the cast is good, the characters are good, the pacing is terrible, and by the time the main thing of the movie happens, the movie's fucking over.
Yeah. Also, like, just all of the GI issue, the digestion issues, the seasickness was like so overkill. Yeah, we feel you. It was also Woody. I was only watching it for Woody Harrelson, and he's only in it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's definitely just there for clout. It's definitely one of those things where he like had a weekend available to make a movie, and they can say he's in the movie.
Oh my God.
There it is. And I was so looking forward to it because the description of the movie sounds great.
It does.
Yeah. Give me role reversals. Give me like snobby rich people having to fend for themselves on an island. Give me the Gilligan's Island story. But they don't till the last like 10 minutes of the movie. And this thing is stupid. It's over. And that movie is taking away nominations from other things that are more worthy. I couldn't tell you what, but anything else. Anything else.
Okay. Note to self, don't watch this.
Don't watch it. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. Oh my God. There's some good moments, but it's not worth the investment of time.
No, not at all. Not at all. Anyway. Oh yeah, and this is also nominated for the Music Awards. I don't think it'll win.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your mom says it's Dior.
It's Dior. Yeah.
It's Dior.
That movie was so good. I feel like nobody really saw it because it came out like in the middle of the summer last year.
I didn't see it. Yeah. Who's in it?
Who is in it? I can't remember the name. Leslie something is Mrs. Harris. Oh yeah, see, it took away a Best Picture nomination from The Whale.
Oh, that is.
Yes.
This makes me mad.
Anyway, there it is. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Who else is in this? It's Leslie Manville. And who else? The guy from Emily in Paris is in it. Gabriel.
Oh, in it. Oh, he's cute.
Like he plays basically. Well, actually, he doesn't play the same role. Well, he does. He plays like the charming mid-20s young French guy, because that's what he gets paid to do. There's who else? Jason Isaacs is in it. Like, it's a good cast. It's a really nice movie. But yeah, there it is. All right.
Wait, do you think it deserves the direction win? The Daniels?
I wouldn't be upset if it won the direction.
Yeah.
Win. Actually, does it deserve it?
Does it deserve it? I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, so much of this movie is a collaborative effort between both of them. And like, we've agreed that this movie is fantastic. And I think that's all them. Like, it's very much an auteur movie in every respect. So I feel like, yeah.
I mean, you got Steven Spielberg.
No.
Triangle of Sadness.
No.
Todd for Tar.
No.
And The Banshees, which was great. I think I would be upset if anyone else won besides Banshees and Everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Oh yeah, Vince keeps mentioning RRR, which I haven't seen.
RRR is an amazing movie and everyone needs to see it.
It's on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah. No, I think no, we had to rent it on YouTube, I think.
What's RRR?
It's a Bollywood movie and it's about like these two like alpha males, one who's like in the military in India, under like British rule, and another guy who is like part of like a tribe, and it's just this like epic adventure of like these enemies becoming best friends and then like coming together at the end to like it's on Netflix. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
I
it's
need to watch this.
highly recommend. Most
Yeah.
attractive guys ever. I don't know why like it didn't even get an international nomination. The only nomination that it got was for best song for a movie, which was one of their like main numbers. But yeah, it's so good. If you want a solid action movie, if you liked Top Gun Maverick, you will love RRR.
Really?
Yeah.
Still haven't seen Top Gun.
And I love Bollywood movies. So
I don't know if it's Bollywood or there's another word for it. It's like the competition of Bollywood. But yeah, it's Vince's all-time favorite.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. It was a good one. They should have gotten more noms for sure.
I feel like they probably just all went to All Quiet on the Western Front.
And Triangle of Sadness. Hollywood, yeah.
Anyway, let's play the game.
Okay.
Do it. What is it?
Oh, it's on Netflix.
So,
Okay.
I can't remember what I call this game, but this is a game where I tell you a fun fact about one of the actors in the movie, and you have to tell me which actor it is or which character they played. If you don't know the name of the actor. Yes. So some of them are repeated because it's a relatively small cast. So just know that that's a thing. And there we go.
Okay. Do we write these down or do we just say it?
Okay. No, write it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. So this person was the assistant fight choreographer on X-Men, the first X-Men movie.
Oh,
in like 2000. This actor was the assistant fight choreographer on the first X-Men movie.
Hold on, I gotta find my pen. Okay, here we go.
Oh, and there are some questions where more than one actor / performer is an applicable answer. So you'll get multiple points if you answer correctly. Yes. Okay, let's see our answers. Yes, you're both right.
Yay! Amazing.
Yeah, I was just watching that last night about how he helped train Hugh Jackman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Aw, I love that. All right, next. Okay. No, I'll save that one for later. This person... Actually, no, we'll do this one. This person acted in a movie with Brendan Fraser.
I don't know.
Remember, some of these questions, more than one person is applicable.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Okay, let's see our answers.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know. Jamie Lee?
Okay, one for Jamie. Lauren, you're right.
Encino Man.
And also Michelle Yeoh.
Oh my god.
Michelle was in like the last Mummy movie that nobody cares about.
Oh, really? That's right.
The Dragon Emperor, I think.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, apparently she's in that. So there we go. So yeah, they've both been blessed to share the screen with Brendan. We love him. Okay. This person's father starred in a movie opposite Marilyn Monroe. This person's father starred in a movie opposite Marilyn Monroe. I had to throw one easy one in there. Okay. Right. Answers, please. Yes, Jamie Lee Curtis. Ooh,
Tony Curtis.
Bonus point if you could tell me what the movie was.
Some Like It Hot.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, Lauren.
It's okay. It's okay. I knew it, but I couldn't remember. It was like something hot, and then it's like,
It's now a hit Broadway musical. Apparently.
Is it?
Yeah.
ooh,
Interesting.
Yeah, and they incorporated one of the songs. It was written by the same people that wrote the music for Smash, among lots of other Broadway shows. I couldn't tell you what, but they incorporated one of the songs they wrote for Smash into the musical because they realized that they wrote the perfect song already for Some Like It Hot the musical. So
That's
Hmm.
so
there it is.
cool.
Yeah, so that's fun, and it apparently is fantastic. So, hooray! All right, next. Okay, this person wrote the music for Disney's Princess and the Frog.
This is
An actor in this
actor.
movie. Yeah.
Princess and the Frog.
This is somebody who played a role in this movie.
Is it a big
wait a
role?
minute.
It's a role in the movie.
Oh my god, come on.
Was he in the movie?
And then,
Well, I'm just gonna write down who wrote the music to it.
yeah, I'll give you an extra point if you could tell me what role this person played as well.
But I couldn't for the life of you tell me.
They wrote the music?
Yeah, they wrote the songs for Princess and the Frog.
This doesn't make any sense.
Lisa, let's get your guess first.
I don't have any. I don't know. I don't know. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Okay, one guess for Lynn. Lord?
Well, who wrote it was Randy Newman.
Yeah, you got a
What
point.
was Randy Newman in?
Vince knows.
Yeah.
He was Raccacoonie.
Are you kidding?
Randy
What?
Newman voiced Raccacoonie
Oh my god.
when they're singing.
That is a trick.
That is a trip. Okay, that is a trip.
I had to
I
go
had
back
no
because I didn't
idea.
even realize that
Yeah, I'm
Raccacoonie.
looking it up on IMDb.
I couldn't have told you anything that Raccacoonie said or sang, but he does in fact duet with.
I was about to school you
Yes.
because I was going to think you were going to tell me somebody else wrote the music too.
No, it's Randy Newman.
Wrong.
I'm almost there. Okay.
Yeah.
This person has a featured / supporting role in the Wicked movies. And then you could tell me, or if you could tell me the role that they're playing in the Wicked movies, you'll get an extra point as well. Vince, was that just a guess? Did you not know for a fact that Randy Newman played Raccacoonie?
It's a guess. It's a guess.
Oh, Lauren, I just thought you would know this. I just took for
Yeah, this
granted
is
that
a
you know this.
I
Okay,
know,
let's see. Guesses. Let's see. Lisa.
Stephanie? Joy?
Stephanie, okay. Stephanie. No, it's Michelle.
You
You tell me no. Oh, did she play Madame Morrible?
Yeah, she's Madame Morrible.
Oh my god.
Damn it! I knew that. I knew it.
Yeah.
I should have known that. I should have known that. I
Yeah.
remember reading that the other day.
I know. It was the most
Oh.
unexpected but perfect piece of Wicked casting news that there could have
Yeah.
been. I loved it. You know,
I knew this, but for some reason it totally blanked out. I was thinking that for some reason Stephanie Hugh was
Yeah.
Nessa Rose.
oh, she could be. She absolutely, like, Stephanie would do fantastic in the Wicked movies. She's not in
Yeah.
them, but she would do great in the Wicked movies.
Yeah.
All right.
I like Vince's guess.
I do too.
Which one was this guy?
Call back to
Adele Dazeem. All right. This next person. This person has played 2 different characters in the MCU.
Is this a lead character in everything?
In everything? I don't know. It's one of the people who plays a role in everything.
2 characters.
But this person has played 2 different roles in the Marvel universe. Their roles in the Marvel universe, I don't think, are huge, but they exist.
Oh my god, I can't believe I don't know this.
I have
Okay,
no.
I'm just gonna write down a name.
Okay.
I'm just gonna guess
Who'd you guess?
Joy Stephanie.
Joy. Okay. Lauren?
I said James Hong.
No, we're looking for Michelle Yeoh.
What does she
Wait,
play?
who was he in?
She's in Guardians, apparently, and in Shang-Chi,
Oh, that's right.
apparently.
And what was the other one?
Shang-Chi and Guardians. One of the Guardians movies. I can't remember which one.
I can't believe I forgot she was in Shang-Chi. And
Who
yes,
is she in Who is she in Shang-Chi?
she's one of the. She was the aunt of Shang-Chi.
Oh, okay.
She was in Tao Lo, and she helped train them. She gave them the dragon armor.
Oh, okay. Yes. Needs a rewatch. So good. Such a good movie. Apparently, Aquafina was supposed to be Joy in this movie. I can see it. I don't think I would like it as much, even though I love Aquafina. I love Aquafina. But
I think she would bring her own twist to it, but yeah, it would be a very different movie.
Yeah.
I could definitely see her sing in a
bagel.
In a bagel.
All right. Next, this person has voiced a Disney villain. This actor has voiced an animated Disney villain in a feature Disney animated film. So not like in a TV show, not in a direct-to-video sequel. One of like their main animated feature films, this actor voiced a Disney villain.
Oh, wait a minute.
Lauren,
in one of the main Disney animated films?
Yep, it's one of you covered it in 0 to 60.
Oh my god.
Like it's not a villain that you're gonna see like on a mug with other Disney villains, but like it's still a Disney villain.
Dang,
I have no idea.
Like for a kind of hint, they're from the more modern era of Disney villains, which is like the stupid era of Disney villains where they're either a surprise or they're like scorned.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't give me any hint.
Okay.
Okay, let's see our guesses.
Michelle.
No, we were looking for Jenny Slate, the dog lady.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Jenny Slate. Oh my god.
I forgot that she was in this movie.
She's the big nose lady.
Yeah.
She doesn't have that.
I can't believe I got both of the questions about Marvel wrong.
I know. Well, no, that one was Disney.
What is happening to me?
That one was Disney, though. That one was Disney.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Disney.
But still. Shame. Okay. This person voiced a salt shaker in Sherlock Gnomes.
A salt shaker?
Yes. A salt shaker in Sherlock Gnomes.
Oh my god, what the heck? I'm just saying this because they do a lot of voices.
All right. Lisa. Wayman, okay. Lauren. You're right. It's James. Wait, he's the grandpa, right?
Yeah, he's the father of Evelyn.
Serious? Oh, Vince got that right.
Yes. Although I think that might have been I think he might have guessed that for the last one, for the Disney villain.
Oh.
Maybe. But still, we'll give the point to Vince because we're not keeping track of his points. All right. I think we have 2 more in the regular round. Here we go.
Okay.
This person performed on Broadway in SpongeBob the Musical. Yes, this person was on Broadway in SpongeBob the Musical. And it's someone in the movie.
And is someone in the movie?
It's someone in the movie, yes.
Oh, like
in this movie.
Okay, I thought you said somewhat in the movie.
Oh, no. All right. Lauren, let's see your guess.
I was going to go with Jenny Slate.
Jenny Slate, okay. Lisa?
I'm going to go with Stephanie.
Lisa, you got it.
That was a complete
Yeah.
back and forth between.
She's a Broadway girl.
Oh my
Yeah, she
God.
was
Wow.
She was
Oh,
also
yeah,
in
that's
Be
true.
More Chill, the musical.
Yeah, I knew that. But I don't know why I didn't. Well, I don't know why I didn't think she could be in SpongeBob. Was she the squirrel?
She was. I don't know anything about SpongeBob. I think she was a computer.
Oh, okay.
A computer that's like the sidekick to a villain or something.
Oh,
To
it's
Squidward?
the little Cyclops guy.
Let me see.
Oh yeah. I forgot their names.
She was Googling. Karen the computer.
Karen, yes.
Yes.
Karen. Nice.
All right, final question for the regular round.
Okay.
This person, and Lauren, you have to get this, Lauren. You have to.
Don't
You
put
don't,
the
I'll be
pressure
so-
on me.
No, you have to get this.
Okay.
This person is featured in the upcoming Haunted Mansion movie. Lauren, didn't you do a trailer reaction?
I
A day
did
ago?
do a trailer reaction, but I'm trying to. Wait a minute.
They're in the trailer.
Oh, yeah, duh. Okay, duh.
All right, Lisa, let's start with you.
I'm okay. I'm just gonna go Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay, Lauren.
Madam Leota.
Yes, it's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay, great.
Lauren, I'll give you the extra point because you said Madam Leota. Okay.
Yay.
So Lauren, you have 7, and Lisa, you have 5. Are we wagering all of our points?
I'm all in at least.
Okay. So
All right.
the answer will be a number. Here we
Okay.
go.
Oh my god.
How many times has Jamie Lee Curtis played Laurie in the Halloween universe?
Oh my god.
I got it. I don't
What?
think it's right. I don't think it's right.
I think it's this, but I don't know.
Let's start with Lisa because Lisa had no hesitation.
I think 6.
6, okay. Lauren?
I said 10.
10. We'll do Price is Right rules for closest without going over. Because we were looking for 7.
Oh, yay. Good job.
Yes. Good job, Lisa.
That was yeah, I had no idea.
Because I forgot that she didn't star in some of the Halloween movies. So I didn't think about that. But
Yes. But yeah, and there was I think there was one like last Halloween. There was one fairly recently. So it was 6 for a long time. But then there was like another sequel.
Yeah.
To the rebooted sequel. So many sequels. Yeah, I've only seen the first one, and that was enough for me. I thought, I don't know why this spawned a franchise. Why are there more of these?
Oh my
He's wearing a mask and walking around with a knife.
I know.
Like I don't like I don't like blood, but also you could be scarier movie. Come on. There it is.
When they first came out, I remember I loved them when I was a teenager, and they still fairly hold up. But the later, I watched the later Halloween movies, and they were not good.
Doesn't it get to a point when he's like in space?
I think there is one movie where he is in space, but that one didn't feature Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's hilarious. I love that. Anyway, closing thoughts. Anything that we didn't talk about with the movie that we want to discuss? Anything else that we want to say aside from how much we love Michelle Yeoh?
I just wanted to win. I wanted to win everything.
Same with Lauren. I wanted to win everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to
everywhere, all at once.
All at once.
I want to eat a bagel as well. But I feel like, again, not to give away tomorrow's conversation, I think that war movie, I think All Quiet on the Western Front is going to win a lot of things that I don't want it to win. Not that I don't want it to win, but I think that's going to be the movie that you just watch the Oscars and like it just keeps winning inexplicably. Like Dune last year, stupid Dune winning all the things.
No, don't say this because it's going to hurt my heart.
Dune.
But
I was
Dune
so
was
angry with
good.
this. Just everything. Every time like a new technical award came up, I had the thing that I wanted to win in my heart, and they were just like Dune. Ugh.
Well, though you knew that the technical awards would definitely go to.
I like. Did Dune deserve to win best cinematography just because it shot something that was really big? Just like, look at all this space.
Yeah.
Yes, when you shoot a beautiful landscape like they did,
But it wasn't beautiful. It was drab.
yes, those are beautiful. Oh my god, Matt.
It was no West Side Story. The cinematography in West Side was beautiful.
West Side Story deserves to win for production design, that's for sure. Yeah. But I don't know about cinematography.
Like the choreographed long takes that they did, like the dance at the gym, that was all one extended. Like the amount of work on the cinematographer's part and the Steadicam operator's part just to pull that off and have it to be like perfectly choreographed with the literal choreography, like weaving in and out of the dancers in one space. I'm like, give it the Oscar just for that. Same reason I want Tar to win for cinematography this year, because I don't know, I'm a sucker for very complicated but beautiful long takes.
As long as Kate Blanchett does not win over Michelle Yeoh, that's all I ask.
Yeah. Oh, did you see Tar, Lauren? I can't remember.
No, I did not, but I know that she's won a lot of awards.
Yeah, I mean, her performance is good as Tar, but I don't like. I would want to rewatch Tar. I would want to rewatch Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
So
I haven't. I still need to watch Tar. I don't know why. I just can't bring myself to do it, especially after last week when you guys were like talking about how boring it was. I was like, I'm like, yeah, I'll get right on that one.
It's a slow one. It's a slow one. It's like a quintessential Oscar movie.
Yeah. It's slow, but I don't regret having watched it. I would maybe even watch it again at some point in my life. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to it. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it's no Triangle of Sadness. Like, it doesn't make me angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll discuss all that tomorrow. You're both back tomorrow, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't
so excited. Woo. All right. Well, then. Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow. Time to sign off. Here we go.
Right.
Start with, there we go. Let's start with this.
Hi, everyone. You can find me here tomorrow on Teacup for One, or the Oscar discussion, our predictions for Sunday night. You can find me at Lisa_A_Alves on Instagram, where I post a lot about my hams. You can also follow my small business account at Lisa Alves Creations. And if you're in Toronto, Ontario, feel free to follow at Cahoots Theatre to see what we have upcoming for our programming in Toronto Theatreland. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Well, you can find me over here, or go like this, here on YouTube, on TikTok, and on Instagram, and on Facebook. So any of those places, we talk Disney 24/7, and there's a lot of fun things that we do, a lot of unboxings of things. I'm a pin collector, so we do that. Talk about that. Talk about Funko products, especially lately, sodas, which I've totally gotten into, and just history of Disney. I have a new series called Inside the Toy Box, which we will be talking about the films of Pixar Animation Studios in chronological order. So it's fun. And that's it.
Thank you, Lauren. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
And if you're watching, of course, this is my channel, Teacup for One. Thank you for joining us for yet another episode of the Oscar Movie Marathon. Join us tomorrow night for the most anticipated show, maybe of the year. Not to like undersell the other shows we're going to do this year, but it's a big event. We're coming together to go through every single nominee and make our picks. We're going to be joined by Lisa, Lauren, Jeanette's going to be here. like Canadian celebrity Ben Gordon of the Cineplex pre-show, as I like to credit him, but also one of the most intelligent film people that I know, and one of the most hilarious people. He's going to be here as well. And I think Alex Tita is going to come too, just to like bring in the laughs. So there it is. But until then, friends, my name is Matt and I have 2 degrees, and this has been the Tea Cup for One. How do I end this?